Hi there, Ken Wink here to provide a market commentary for May 2025. Wanted to let you know that there are new benefits to being a client of Summit Financial. We've been working extremely hard to get great financial planning content for years in the form of both videos and articles. Now we've gathered it in 3 great spots. So first, check out our blog, summitfc.net/blog. You'll find articles about the Secure Act 2.0, responsible credit card use, tariffs, financial planning when you're preparing for parenthood, and then the benefits and drawbacks of working a side hustle. Hundreds of additional topics are on there. Next, where you're at right now, our YouTube page. Please like and subscribe. We've got tons of great videos on 2-minute car buying tips, the 5 steps to budgeting, cybersecurity reminders, health savings account strategies, plus so much more. Lastly, we're now filming a weekly podcast. We've been doing it for a couple months now. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. The name of it is Money Talks with Summit Financial. So please search for it. Let us know what you think. So volatility has been the new norm for the past few months now. In February, the administration announced tariffs on China, Mexico, and Canada, and many U.S. business owners decided to front-end load some of their purchases. They sort of tried to get as much in the door as they can before the tariffs went into effect, and that had a negative effect on GDP. So GDP is gross domestic product, and that determines whether or not the United States is in a recession. And for the first quarter of 2025, the number came in bad at negative 0.3%. So if we were to have another quarter, if the second quarter was negative, that would technically mean that we're in a recession. Now, when they calculate GDP, imports are viewed negatively. They hurt the number. So with that large surge in imports, that made the GDP number negative for the first quarter. So we're not hitting the panic button yet because this was sort of at this point, a one-time thing caused by a one-off with all those imports being front-end loaded. For the S&P 500, for both February and March, the market was negative and had a 10% loss. And then in April, those losses accelerated, and at one point the market was down about 20%. But as announcements of negotiations with tariffs continued, the market had quite a comeback. So where do we go from here? In the very short term, it's almost impossible to say because so much is depending upon tariff negotiations. Now, past performance cannot predict future performance, but we wanted to share something that happened last week in the U.S. stock market. It's called a Zweig breadth thrust, and it's a very long-term indicator. It is very rare. But this potentially signifies a change in the stock market for the better. So when this has happened in the past, 100% of the time, the stock market has been positive 6 and 12 months later. On average, 6 months later, the market's up 14.8%, and then 12 months later, on average, the market's up 23.4%. So this is one of the many indicators that we're watching right now that, in our opinion, could signal the potential for higher stock market values 6 to 12 months from now. We also wanted to provide a midterm election update. I know what you're thinking. It's only May. Why are we talking about the midterm elections in the fall of 2026? Well, it's our belief that most politicians want to stay in power. And because you can't switch the economy from bad to good like a light switch, it takes some time. So we believe that the most likely outcome is that the current administration is going to continue with all this tariff stuff for the next 3 to 6 months. But then after that, they're going to have to start focusing on window dressing the economy and the stock market before the midterm elections in the fall of 2026. Anything can happen, and this administration is perhaps harder to predict compared to some other administrations. But we're still cautiously optimistic that 2025 is going to end up being a positive year for the market based upon the data I just shared, and then also the data that we've been sharing in our market commentaries. If you go to our blog or if you go to our YouTube page, you can see our past market commentaries and see some of those charts that we shared previously. And just a reminder that we offer actively managed portfolios. We'd be happy to discuss them with you. When our research indicators and when our charting indicators say that it's potentially prudent to get out of the market or to reduce risk, we will very seriously consider it when those indicators flash. Hey, if we haven't spoken in a while, we'd love to have a review meeting with you. If you've had any updates with your family or your income or retirement or a job offer or a new child, new house, you name it, give us a call at 586-226-2100 to schedule a review meeting. We'd love to meet with you over the phone, over Zoom, or face-to-face to strategize. On behalf of Bob Wink, Ken Wink, Jim Wink, Zach Backner, James Baldwin, and Daniel Ladzinski, thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon.
Summit Financial,
working with people you trust.